Okay, so my other blog, so I go to the doctors, and they do, doctors, they hope that you don't have C. difficile, which is like a stomach bug, which is what a lot of patients in the hospital get, stomach infection. So I was really mad because he was a lazy doctor. I'm not saying that all doctors are like this, but he was lazy, and he just wanted to get me out of there because the more patients that they have, the more money that they make, right? Especially when they're in private practice. And I didn't know that at the time. So he just gave me a wide, broad spectrum antibiotic, which is so bad for destroying your gut bacteria, like all your good, your bad, everything, right? So then I took that, and so stupid, he also prescribed me imodium. You never take those two together, and I was so mad at him, like extremely mad, because my life was destroyed at that point. Like, I know it doesn't sound that bad right now because it's in the past, but it was really, really bad. And when I was learning more in nursing school about medications and all that, and I learned that you're not supposed to mix imodium and antibiotics. That's like a big no. Never do that. So then when that happened, I started getting massive heartburn. I got non-ulcerative dyspepsia, and my stomach was burning all the time. I couldn't eat anything. I was just on congee, which is this rice porridge and chicken broth. I lost 17 pounds. And I was so bloated. Even though I was like so skinny, I was so bloated. And it's not like the normal kind of bloating. It was the bloating where your stomach just sticks out and it just hurts. Like, there's the bloating you get after you eat, and that's normal. But this kind of bloating was like, it was like abnormal, big bloating that it almost, it's beyond pregnant. It's just this pain. So I was extremely mad at my doctor. I was extremely mad, and I went for my second visit, and I remember I was in the doctor's office, and I was crying. I'm like, how could you give that to me? How could you do that to me? I can't eat anything. I can't do anything with my life anymore. And I barely made it through school. I was doing clinical nursing, and I was going to the bathroom all the time. It was really sad. And I was pissed off at everybody. Like my nursing colleagues, they're getting mad at me they were getting mad at me before for taking so long, like taking such long breaks. And I remember I snapped at this one girl, and I said, I'm having diarrhea mucus. I need the break, all right? And I glared at her, and she was just like, okay. And that's the other piece. People don't understand. Don't understand what you go through when you have IBS. You feel like you're alone. And that's probably the hardest part. And I think that's why IBS support communities are really good, and kind of voicing that you have it and sharing it with other people that have it. It's really powerful, because maybe they don't give you the solution, but they give you empathy, and empathy is very healing, and compassion is extremely healing. So if you have it, don't sit in the dark. Don't just be quiet and not say anything, not validate what you have in your experience, because it's a horrible experience, and more people need to voice that they have it, and that they want something done about it. And I know that it's happening, but I would say my main thing is the support groups are great, and that's like the first step, right? So that was my experience with the doctor, and that's a big message of mine is don't ever take antibiotics and a broad spectrum antibiotic and imodium. You don't have to. I think the thing with diarrhea, and this is my message, is that the thing with diarrhea is that just let yourself have the diarrhea. Your body is trying to get rid of something. Your body is purging, and the best thing that you can do is have bland food. So so things like rice, sweet potato, nice and hot, and don't drink anything crazy. So just tea, sweet potato, rice porridge, and just and hot steamed rice, and bland chicken. Just let yourself do what it needs to do, right? Like, don't plug it. You're going against nature. Like, you're already resisting, right? Resistance is what makes you sick. And I have another video on resistance. You need to let your body do, even though it's not working right, you gotta let it go through the process that it needs to go through to clear itself. Don't stop the body from doing that. And I go into like way more detail about this in my program, because I have a section on diarrhea, constipation, spasms, and all that. But that's like that's what I would say, is that we are going against nature and what our body is trying to do when we're plugging it up, when we're resisting the stuff that it's trying to get rid of, and what, you know, and what your emotions are telling you. We're not listening. So that's my truth about like that part of my story, diarrhea, and what to do about that.